Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thanks again for joining me here. Hope you're having a phenomenal day. We're taking a quick look here at XRP. This is a request from one of my community members. Also just something I try to keep on the radar at any given time, try to look closer at what's going on. Even though I don't love trading this coin myself personally, just based on some of the obnoxious candle wicks we can see, the manipulation, we do day trade the heck out of this on our scalping bot. So just friendly advice, day trading this coin is, I think, in some cases better than swing trading, just based on the simple fact that some of those aggressive wicks can stop you out, and you just kind of want to keep your head on a swivel in trading this coin, even though it can kind of go sideways and get stuck on stupid sometimes. Either way, it's not why we're here. We're going to talk about the data. So we're going to look at the back-end data here first. This is just liquidation based on the last 7 trading days. And as we can kind of see, there's a heavy concentration, of course, of longs with liquidation at about 60 to 62 cents. There's some new longs at about 66 cents. I don't know what they're thinking per se, but they're trying to buy that dip. And of course, we got some shorts at about 70.5. Okay, it's important to recognize that because a lot of shorts are getting wrecked on the way up. So truth is, most coins right now, you are statistically more probable to have more success going up than down. It's just kind of the nature of the market. But you do got to recognize too, Bitcoin dominance is on the decrease if you look at smaller time frames here, or correction, on the increase rather. And that's why we're seeing a pretty significant dip. If you take a look at this here, Bitcoin dominance going up, alts going down. Every single last one of them pulled back, just like we're seeing here for XRP. Okay, so nothing abnormal here, completely normal behavior. So what we want to look at is a few key things on the larger time frames and work our way down. We'll start with the daily, and just recognize here that we are ascending positively. It's definitely looking good. We're above the 20-day SMA, concurrent with our trend line on the 50, and the 200 and the 100 are trailing behind. This is exactly where you want to be. Stochastic RSI is giving us the indication it wants to diverge a second time. That's typically the case in point where you want to pay attention. So we should keep our head on, kind of keep our head on straight, if you will. Make sure we're careful with our trades here moving forward, because that could spell a potential reversal. It's not a massive thing, but it's still something to pay attention to. MACD is still converging. Everything minus that one thing is pretty bullish, and that one thing hasn't even happened yet. Okay, so just keep in mind it's a little premature. That said, we got a strong amount of volume at about the 60 to 62 cent range, running concurrent again with this amount of volume here for leverage. Okay, so it does tell us we have support at that range, but it doesn't mean that liquidation levels are support. Okay? I got to distinguish that because somebody said the other day, I think on my Twitter, that I don't know what I'm talking about because I mistake support levels with liquidation, and oftentimes those run concurrent. They can both exist at the exact same time. Just so you understand. All right, so taking a look at the 4-hour time frame, we want to identify a few things here. And just note that we're overextended, obviously. Big surprise, most coins are following the same suit right now with this little pullback. Majority of them have hit overextensions with 9s on TD sequential. So seeing this level here on the charts with the stochastic RSI swinging down, that does tell us we are bearish in the short-term time frame, by the way. We've already established the long-term big picture, we're bullish, okay? You can still have bearish trends in smaller time frames though, okay? So right now the 4 hours is basically telling us we should expect a little bit further downside. We lost 70 on the RSI, and money flow index is increasing, but not substantially. So that, in conjunction with MACD diverging, hasn't fully diverged yet, tells us we have more potential for downside. Okay? Doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that out, but we do want to recognize too here, though, that we have a previous resistance turn potential support level here at 0.236 fib level at about 67 and a quarter. So that could essentially hold the price action in place. In fact, if we do look at the daily here time frame, we can kind of recognize that these two fib levels, 0.382, which is 65.5, and 64 cents even, could be natural retracement levels, okay? Again, the reason why that's okay is because 0.5 is typically the halfway point, and 0.618 is the lowest and worst case scenario. But generally speaking, we look at 0.5, it's going to run concurrent with the most recent high, and that's a positive sign, okay? Most recent high turns into the new low, okay? So again, even if the price pulls back down to this level eventually, we'd still be okay to honor the ascending trend and bounce off 0.5. So to me personally, an entry in the 64 to 65 cent range seems appropriate. So I'm going to set my alert. If that alert goes off later, then I know I might want to reevaluate and consider, emphasis on consider, a long position, okay? Once again, we reevaluate. If you're setting alerts and you come back in, just jump in blindly, you're not doing it right. All right, last but not least here, we'll look at the 4-hour time frame. Oh, actually, we have a pretty massive amount of liquidation down here. We already know that between 58 and 62. Nothing really surprising there. We look at the 1 hour though, we can kind of see here that we are not massively overextended any longer. We're coming down to a 6, so we've been running down for 6 hours. We've got maybe another 4 more hours left. of continuation. That puts us really close to the end of the day's trading. Okay, so I'm more so looking for entries at the end of today's trading day, closer to that 1 day candlestick close than I am right now, because a lot of coins are pulling back and it doesn't make sense to get in too early. But again, we are at a support level. There is potential for this to bounce. Okay. So again, if you're going to consider entry, consider averaging your position down on the way down, if you would, because there's no guarantee it's going to bounce here. We don't take trades on just key level supports and resistances. We look at everything, and so far, the data is telling us the price wants to pull back further. That said, we look at the Ichimoku cloud. We've got our first sell signal here based on the cloud. Well, 2 of them actually. Lagging spans in the price action and conversion lines below the baseline. Basically means we lost momentum and we didn't reach our higher high enough, or fast enough rather, and we're intersecting, and that's kind of a closing signal. We are still able to maintain here, and the price could very well continue upwards. By the way, I'm not telling you to close your 100% of your position, but a lot of times you want to close maybe at least half, adjust your stop loss to break even. That way, if the trade comes down, you can very least break even, or if you take 60 to 80% your target in your first profit in your first target, which is what we do usually, then you can sustain and continue further. In other words, if you take a look here, just kind of give you an example, we have tons of trades that are coming through. I mean, what, Bell 130%, 150% for VeChain, Grow, Cartesi, OG, and Atom. This is the last 12 hours alone right here, right? But what I'm getting at here is if you structure your trades like this, here we have multiple targets, you're going to be much more successful because you're going to actually be able to take profit as you go along. And you can actually do that if you use the right exchange. Bitunix, they have multiple profit targets and trailing stop losses. They also coincidentally give you $5,500 in bonus rewards if you use my link to register. And no VPN, no KYC. There's literally no reason not to use them. And I do have a Bitunix channel on my Discord to effectively instruct you on how to use them for the basics, and obviously how to set multiple entry targets. It's pretty straightforward. But again, some people may not know that. That's what it's there for. All right, so again, just some friendly advice there. If you're setting targets, multiple targets is appropriate. Try not to be like the all-in, all-out kind of person. Yes, you'll take profits. You'll take more profit, but you'll take less profit often. And trust me on this, I've done the math. It works out better to take less profit more frequently than to take large profit once in a while. Okay. Again, just some friendly advice there. You risk a lot less by taking profit frequently. All right, folks, so that's what we got here. Comment below, let me know what your thoughts are. Obviously, like the video if you could, help to grow the channel, and do look forward to work with you. Remember, we got a Discord, Telegram, and Twitter if you're curious on some additional information there. My Twitter and Telegram and Discord are pretty good to get you a lot of good information, but I would say Discord is probably the best just because it gets you relevant data as well as just other traders. You can interact with them. We got somewhere in the range of 1,500 members, so pretty awesome. Anyways, check that out in your own time. Thanks again for your time. See you next one. Take care.